Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Realty Check. I'm your host, Trish Williams, and we are glad that you're here today. If you're watching the show, if you're following the show, please make sure to share it with your friends, like us on, like our page on Facebook, download us on iTunes. Make sure to get the word out there and take a second to post us a review. Those will definitely help us and help our guests in the future to provide you guys some great content. So today, I have a guest with me, of course, a very special guest. Her name is Leah Soares. Leah has a very interesting subject to talk about, which everybody always asks me about. So I know it's a very popular subject, and that is home staging. She has a company called Stage to Sell that's located here in Las Vegas. And Leah, how long have you been doing home staging?
Oh, goodness. In different aspects of it, I'd say probably for about 10 years, but full-time 6 years.
Okay, perfect. And you stage homes primarily just for real estate?
We work with investors, we work with home sellers directly, and we also work with realtors. So whoever has a home that's for sale that needs to look its best, we'll work with you.
Okay, wonderful. And you working with investors, I assume that that's probably with doing flips and renovations.
A lot of flippers.
A lot of flippers. So, when you go into those homes and you're like, how did they make this look so beautiful? That's you behind that?
Well, I have a construction background too, so it's really nice to see the high quality flippers in our area.
Yes.
You can see, so if you know what you're looking for, you can see if they've cut corners or not. And I'm very fortunate to work with a great group of people that don't cut corners, and they do make it before and after amazing. And then our staging goes in and provides that emotional connection for the buyers, that potential people walking through to fall in love with it.
That's amazing. I also have a construction background.
Okay.
And I noticed that when I'm walking through homes with clients, and you can really tell the ones that are quality versus the ones that are just thrown together.
Absolutely.
Without any care or detail.
What do we call that, lipstick on a pig?
That's exactly what I call it. You read my mind. That is exactly what I call it. And I always... I warn my buyers, when we're there, just like, beware of this. This might look really pretty and shiny right now. But
I'm seeing some concerns that your inspector will confirm.
Yes, we will probably cancel this during the inspection. but yeah, so what is the difference between staging and interior design?
That's a good question, definitely, because I think a lot of people misunderstand what it is we're supposed to be doing. I kind of liken it to, it doesn't matter what Leah's favorite color is or what Trish's favorite color is. The house tells me what it needs. Okay. And that means detracting from any negatives or awkward spaces or, odd features, and only accentuating the positive. Okay. So that's staging. But when you're doing interior design, we totally care about what your favorite color is and how you want to live and how comfortable you want to be. And those make those furniture and decor changes very different. So staging is all about the house, not about what we personally want or feel. It's the buyer audience.
That, I think, is a very great subject that you touched on, because when I meet with people that are selling their home, getting ready to sell their home, a lot of times they will have, this is my favorite color, and that's why I painted that room that color. And because I love it, everybody's going to love it. And sometimes, even I walk in and I'm just like, that's really not going to be a popular choice.
Not neutral.
It's very nice that you chose that, but it's not going to be a popular choice with everybody. And that, you really want it to be attractive to everybody when you're selling the home.
The best wording to use to not be offensive to people when I come in as the bad guy to tell them that it's not up to par is that is too taste specific.
Oh.
It's a really nice way of saying it's not current, it's not trendy, it's not going to be desirable by the widest buyer audience, and really to neutralize the space so the whole home shows, not just one room, one wall, one feature. Everything needs to show well.
Right, absolutely. And I think, to me, I think it's maybe a misconception, but correct me if I'm wrong because you're the expert in this, but I hear a lot of, I think it's like an old school kind of topic or whatever, or old school suggestion is that before you sell your house, paint everything white. Because that's, again, buyers will come in and see a blank space. To me,
Because you can't get more neutral than white, right?
right. But to me, when I walk into a vacant home where everything is white, all the walls are white, it feels cold and empty. What is your take on that?
I fully agree with that. And the thing I liken that with too is when you're a renter and you're only a tenant.
Yes.
It's a reminder, those white walls, of you cannot do anything to personalize or warm up the space. You have to leave it blank, white slate, boring. And that's not what's going to attract people. If that's what you should do, then every builder in town would be doing that, and it's not what's being done. So
Absolutely.
A soft, warm, neutral,
yes.
So it's a nice background is good, but white, I definitely agree with you. I would never do that.
And I agree. I think it looks cold. And on the rental, the rental thing you said, it makes people feel like they're in a rental. And if you're buying your first home, the last thing you want is a house that looks like
feel another rental.
To feel like you're in a rental.
It's a kind of a subliminal first impression thing. You don't know why you don't like it, but it's not going to attract you emotionally to want you to make that your home.
Right. And I believe that. And this is another thing why I think staging and everything in the presentation of the home is so important, is because some people, like, you have a construction background, I have a construction background. I can walk into any house and see vision. I'm just like, we could do this, we could do that.
Move that wall.
Move that wall, paint this, that color, that flooring. That's everything looks like a simple task to me.
Right.
But I'll be with clients and I walk in and I'm trying to explain to them and they're like, no way.
Or you overwhelm them mentally because they just can't imagine what you can see because you've done it before, you've seen it before.
Right.
You've trained your mind to think that way, and sometimes they'll get overwhelmed.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't have that vision, and there's not a problem with that. It's just not, or some people just don't want to do it. I mean, there's so many people that I talk to that just say, I want to walk into a house, get my key, and move my boxes. That's it.
I call that toothbrush ready.
Just
bring your toothbrush in, bring your little few personal things in it, and immediately start enjoying the home.
Yeah.
Not worry about who I'm going to hire to fix this or change that. Who do I trust? How much it's going to cost? Right. Again, those things are overwhelming, and the buyers today don't want to fool around with that.
Especially today do you see an increase of that today with just people not wanting other trades and people in their home and everything like that?
But the trust issue is huge too. Who do I trust that's going to do a good job and not, perhaps take advantage of me or charge me too much or not show up consistently? Right. So it's all reasons they just don't want to deal with it. Right. If they have a choice.
Yeah, and interviewing. I mean, who wants to interview, contractors and electricians and painters and go through all that? So yeah, I definitely understand that. In real estate, we're seeing like a big, I would say it's a big trend over the last couple of years where you see a lot of people doing like virtual staging. Virtual staging, just in case you don't know what it is out there, is when you look at the photos and they have just all this furniture, virtually put in there. You can't really tell by the photos, but now we have like a rule in our MLS. It has a little banner across the bottom that says it's virtually staged. But what is the difference between what you do, actual staging, and virtual staging?
Well, virtual staging is becoming popular with some people, and I'll say because they don't know better, because it's cost effective. It is very inexpensive. In contrast, it's basically Photoshop. So it's making the pictures. The companies go in and they take vacant photos, and then they go back to the desktop and they plug and play a few couches and art pieces and decor. And they're so good nowadays, they're even casting shadows and showing the sunlight coming in. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Yeah. But the biggest problem is it looks great on the computer or on the phone when somebody's shopping initially. But then you give your list to your agent and says, show me these 3-4 homes in person, please. You get there and there's nothing but vacant-itis, blank rooms, blank walls. There's zero emotional connection. So really, it saved you money and maybe initially in contrast to actual staging, real furniture, real art, real decor, but you lost money because it provided you zero value in person.
Right. So it got people inside the door.
Yeah, but you're not going to get offers. You're not going to get those buyers connecting and saying, where do I sign? I love it.
Yeah. Or you get those buyers that, when you're there, they're like, did I ask to see this house? Like,
Yeah,
why
why'd you
are
bring
we
me
here?
here? Yes.
It's like, no, you wanted, I don't remember this one because they
I promise it's on your list.
Yeah,
This wasn't on my list.
yeah, they seen the pictures. They were really amazing, and I've witnessed that before. You know, they seen the
a
pictures,
letdown.
really amazing, and they're basically let down when they're in there. And
It's almost a little bit of false advertising too, and you don't want that. When you have a relationship with your buyer, you want them to trust you.
Yes.
And if you're bringing them somewhere and it doesn't look the way it did on the computer or where they initially thought, they're almost going to distrust you. You know, that you're not representing them right.
right, and a lot of people do originally. I mean, usually they come within like due diligence period, but there are a lot of buyers that buy virtually. We'll go off the pictures, they'll write the initial offer, then they come visit the home during due diligence. That's actually becoming more and more common.
And certain price points, though, don't
yeah,
you think? Not all.
Not all, yeah, certain price points, but if they're doing that during that due diligence, we have like a higher risk of cancellation
Yes.
when the home disappoints when they see it in person.
Or again, they feel almost betrayed when they get there.
Yeah.
This is not, you know, what I thought it was. Now I've wasted my travel and my time to get here to do my due diligence.
Yes.
Now show me some other houses.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, and it does do that. And then there's also the I've seen in virtual staging where like there's a 10 by 10 room and it's fully furnished, and when you get there in person, you're like, well, it had to have been dollhouse furniture. There's
Right.
no way all this furniture would have
That's
fit
another
in this
issue too.
room.
The scale and the quantity doesn't work.
Yeah.
It looked great on like you said, on a 10 by 10 and a piece of paper as they were doing on the screen for the Photoshop portion of it, but all that does not possibly fit into the room in real life.
Right, so it does
Scale.
it does definitely become a little disappointing. So can you save money when you're staging, like on, like, say that, for instance, I have a home that would have to probably to update it, I'm going to need to do all new flooring in it before I put it on the market. Or, you know, this area over here might be outdated, and I don't really want to put, you know, a lot of money into completely renovating the home before selling it, because one, I mean, what if the buyers don't like my renovations? And,
That's
and they're
unfortunately
going to tear it all
happens.
out anyways.
Right.
It's a waste of money, and I don't
Time.
know. Yeah, waste of time, waste of money. And, you know, I want to definitely, when you sell your home, you want to get the most bang for your buck. You know, you want to be able to get it listed, get it sold as quickly as possible, get it on the market as soon as possible. Is there a way of using staging to like avoid some of those big costly renovations?
Absolutely. I always tell my clients that I will encourage you to spend your money as if it was my money. And I'm going to show you ways to spend pennies to make dollars. So
Okay.
ROI, that return on investment, is critical. We do renovation consultations. So we'll go in with you and your client. We'll walk the property. We'll give ideas of what they should or shouldn't do to
Okay.
get prepared to list.
Okay.
You know, prior to staging. And there are some things that are, you know, paint is the most inexpensive way to clean it up, freshen it up, update it as well. But many times there's things that we need to ignore and we can stage around. We can, you know, deflect or detract away from certain things
Okay.
versus you don't need to spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 before. Like you said, if it's going to be too personal, the buyer might not like that choice.
Absolutely.
So there's plenty of things that are not necessary and will take, you know, just waste time and money.
Okay, so paint, that's also a suggestion I tell people a lot, is, you know, paint will always freshen up things, and baseboards. I think there's,
Yes.
painting baseboards is so underrated.
Clean doors, trim, base.
Clean doors,
yes.
trim baseboard, because a fresh coat of paint and a fresh bead of caulking on that baseboard will
Yes.
make the room look brand new.
Most importantly, too, what you're describing is a feeling that the home is well maintained
Absolutely.
versus it's going to get, you know, 50 check marks on the home inspection report of, you know, poor maintenance type things. So again, it's a mental thing that we're creating, a first impression that, oh, look at, these are fresh and clean and new, well, you know, freshly caulked, whatever. This homeowner must have really loved and cared for this home properly versus it must have been a tenant occupied property for 100 years.
Yeah.
Two different, you know, mindsets.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And you'll see the pride of ownership when you take care in that. So in doing things like this, like what if just, I guess, case scenarios, if you had like some outdated countertops, like what is there's like a way of kind of staging around that to make it look better, freshen it up?
There is, but that's probably one of them if it's really outdated that I would recommend.
Yeah.
Even before cabinetry. Sometimes you don't need to worry about painting cabinetry or doing new cabinetry, just replacing countertops. And it doesn't have to be Taj Mahal top of the line product. It could be a lower mid-entry, product type that will still look clean and updated.
Okay.
So you don't have to do crazy as if you were going to live in there forever, maybe $100 a square foot type thing. It
Right.
could be more of an entry level product. But that's one that would be
Yeah.
one I would probably recommend if it was really bad.
Yeah, 'cause some of those outdated ones are hard
But
to
then
overlook.
what you're saying too, though, sometimes the paint color or the backsplash color, not necessarily a backsplash product, because I don't necessarily recommend that
Oh,
to
really?
do prior to list, because that's very personal. If there's no backsplash, just leave it. Just paint it and have everything be neutral. Let someone else personalize it in that way.
Okay. So when you do staging, do you actually go in the home and paint, and are you doing that, or do you recommend it? How does it work when someone hires you for staging? What's the first step of the process?
So when we do renovation consultations, we'll go in, we charge approximately about $350 to
Okay.
walk the property, kind of do a walk and talk and help them make a list of what they can do, what they should do. Maybe these are the absolutes, this is what, possibly recommend. And then again, prior to the staging to finalize that. And then we have preferred vendors that we know and love and trust that
Good.
we'll recommend, absolutely.
Right.
And because we do so much quantity with them, we can extend pricing discounts to
That's great.
to the clients to do that. So absolutely, going to give them a feel of, ignore this, handle that, maintenance issues that they live there, they may not even see. And I walk in, it's immediately an eyesore and it's standing out at me because I'm a fresh pair of eyes.
Right.
So absolutely, give them a list of information, help guide them to either our in-house team or the vendors that we use to be able to handle it for them quickly too.
Yes, and that's important, right?
'Cause
Because
time
they
is
want to
money.
they want to sell their home. They don't want to wait a month. And I love that you actually help direct them in the right way, because I've heard different times where people will say, "Oh, you need to do this, this, and this." You're on your own. Like,
Yeah.
see you later. Now.
That's wrong. Deal with it. Let me know.
That's
Let me know
wrong.
when you're ready. I'll come back.
Yeah, that's wrong. Deal with that. Call me when you're ready.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't even know where to start with that, so they don't do it.
Well, and the one thing I mentioned too, we charge about $350, but
That's not bad.
when you stage with us, I refund it completely back towards
Oh,
your
my
staging
goodness.
package. So it's free.
Okay,
it's
so
basically free.
$350 is your walkthrough, your consultation, your checklist.
For
This is what
renovations.
you need to do for renovations. This is what happens. You give them a list of things to do. You give them the people to contact, and if they take your service on, from there on, it gets refunded back to them.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
It's one thing that's really something important to me too is I would rather give information and prevent problems. It's not a matter of charging for, per hour or per whatever. It doesn't necessarily come full circle that for that reason. You want to prevent mistakes, financial mistakes to those clients. That's what they're asking you for, is your experience and your information to make it an easier process for them. So we talked about paint color, but you can only imagine a fresh coat of paint in the wrong color is no brownie points.
Oh, yes.
It's going to make it look worse.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So those things are really important. You can't just say you need to paint or you need to do a new countertop or change out a light fixture or a plumbing fixture. I also need to help recommend what those choices should be, because most people don't know. That's what they're needing our help for.
Yeah, the paint colors are, can make or break the way the home looks. The home looks overall, and also they. How many times, I don't know, have I seen at least homes that have painted, someone did it themselves, they don't pay attention to the details, you have the paint up on the corners, it's
Not a professional cutting edge.
the cutting edge is awful, and it makes it look worse. It makes everything look worse. It's like, gosh, I wish you wouldn't have painted.
Right.
Because
You made it, you just ruined the whole thing.
You just ruined the whole
Or
thing.
ceiling, we got ceiling dabs.
Yeah, or you touch up with the wrong color. That is
the wrong
such-
finish, matte versus sheens.
Yes, and then you just have these spots all over the wall, and it's like they tried. I know, but come on, it just doesn't. It just
Right,
doesn't
and then,
work.
so basically what they did is they really made a huge problem financially to go back and correct it.
Yeah, because now the whole
Yeah,
thing has to
yeah.
get redone.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know we had. So I had some case study photos, and I'm not sure. Do we have the photos to put up in the background? Yes, we do. So tell me a little bit about these, Leah.
Okay, so this property is in Henderson area. It's on Starbrook, and it was beautiful. It was actually a wealthy luxury project we worked on.
Okay.
And it was furnished before the gal moved to Florida.
Okay.
So it was furnished nicely, comfortably, but the way you live versus the way you stage is very different.
Okay.
So we were fortunate to work with the client and her assistant and got permission to move the baby grand piano,
Oh.
move some wonderful furniture that probably cost her a lot of money,
Oh, yeah.
but it just didn't work with the space.
Right.
So this is an example of what we call mirroring. So you can see the sectionals are left and right L's.
Yes. Yes. So they
we
mirror each
we
other.
properly filled this space versus it just being, it was almost like 3 different seating spaces.
Okay.
So you can't see everything there, but it turned out beautifully. And again, it was a gorgeous open project. And this is I think it was about 1.8 million on this one.
Okay.
Even a lot of the flipper projects that are the lower $500,000, $750,000, they're opening all the walls because
Yeah.
this is what's desirable.
That's what people want. Yeah, that big open space, and it looks beautiful.
You want to make it more, conversational, comfortable though too, and that's what you do if you do improper staging or improper furniture from the client. You're going to create kind of little small cut up spaces versus a nice big, feel,
Right.
comfortable feel. So that one turned out, it was a lot of fun.
Yes. All right. What about this one? This is our next one.
Okay, so this one's one of our favorite clients. He's actually an agent flipper.
Okay.
And it was a project that he had helped his client do a few minor changes, not a flip on this one. And she was relocating out of state. And so they had it on the market for just a little while. They got into contract pretty quickly, vacant,
Okay.
not staged.
Uh-huh.
But they failed escrow due to a low appraisal.
Oh.
And seller was not willing to budge, and she shouldn't have because the comps were there, the value was there, but the appraiser didn't agree.
Yes.
So they canceled escrow. Agent called us and said, "We've got to get this staged. This is, a gorgeous property. There's no reason why we should have this problem." Stage it within, I think, 3 days. They were back into contract, full list, successful appraisal.
Oh.
Within days, 2 different appraisals,
Yeah.
and closed $25,000 more.
Excellent.
So sometimes people say, well, how do you know really staging works? Like it looks beautiful. Like I think I believe in it, but how do you know it really works?
The numbers.
This is a recent one in Summerlin that showed us 2 professional appraisals in
Yeah.
less than 30 days apart.
Yeah.
$25,000 difference after staging.
Oh, wow.
I'd say it worked for that client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's more money in your pocket. Yeah. All right. What about this one?
So this is an example. This was a property that was actually used for many, many, many years as a rental. And boy, did it look like it when I walked in there. So we recommended painting.
Okay.
We recommended new flooring for carpet only.
Okay.
There's tile there, and even though there were a lot of areas they could have spent money, it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
And they were in contract within 2 days over
right.
list price.
And it
I
looks
think
beautiful.
this one was about $300,000, a little bit less than $300,000. So you can see staging works at all price points.
All price ranges.
Yes.
Yeah. And it does not look like a rental. So
No, it looks very well maintained,
Yes.
very well cared for.
does look very, very nice. Very good. All right. And of course, this is, I'm sure this is just your advertising and
Yep,
the
that's one of
photo.
our ad shots. We love that project. We just did that for a luxury client in the Southwest.
Okay.
And I think 1.75 is what they're listed at. Very unique property. The issue with this one, and when we came in, the clients were just getting ready to move out of state.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to see all their furniture. Again, probably very nice, high quality pieces they paid a lot of money for,
Yeah.
but it didn't work for the property.
Absolutely.
And it was all overly modern, overly contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
What works best for staging is more a mix, not old school traditional, not overly contemporary, but the middle of the road is called transitional.
Okay.
So we brought in different furniture and decor that suited the property and what those buyers would be looking for at that price range. Turned
Right.
out beautifully.
Yes, and absolutely, people want to see themselves living in the home,
Yes.
but they don't want to. They want it. They want something modern, of course. I mean, times change, designs change. They want something that's modern and attractive to what today's styles are. So.
Yeah, and I think with that example of property, the overly modern contemporary furniture kind of was the showcase of the home, not the home itself. The
Right.
property is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so you basically subdue the furniture and the decor and the art a little bit and let the property really show off versus we're not selling a couch or selling an art piece.
Right.
We're selling the whole home, the whole
We're
property.
selling the home. You want to see the rooms. Yeah, that's very important. And one thing that you brought up recently when we were just talking is days on the market. So days on the market are huge in real estate, of course, because the longer a home, from a realtor's perspective, the longer a home stays on the market, you'll get to a point where people are saying, well, what's wrong with this? You know, if nobody else
Nobody else
wants it,
wanted
why
it. I
do
don't either. Right. It's
Yeah.
tainted.
And it could be perfect. There could be nothing wrong with it. But if the day's on the market, and there's always, you know, there's a reason, you know, always why days on the market. Sometimes it's price. Sometimes it's, you know, and sometimes it's appearance. People are coming, but it's just not getting the bang, you know, that it should get when they get there. So it can have an effect. We do see that that it does. So staging can help those days on the market. It can help people walk into the house and just be, I'm in love. I want the keys. I want to move in. I love everything about this.
Where do I sign? I'm done.
Right. Yeah. I've even gotten a little, you know, like excited. I walked into houses sometimes and it's cute little, you know, things on the entry table or whatever, you know, just staged very nicely. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And it just makes you just love the space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you say that too, because old school thinking is usually the price was the problem. That must be the problem. Very rarely, especially in how strong our Las Vegas market is, price is not the problem anymore. It's condition, or it's maybe this feels like too much wasted space, or this is too small. I'd never be able to put my, you know, furniture in this room. People can't envision it. It's not what they're trained to do. They might have whatever kind of careers they have, but it's not typically in design.
Right.
So we really have to, you know, go in, have fresh eyes if it's been on the market and tainted for a while, fresh eyes, give our agents the information of, you know, these are the objections you're having and this is how I can correct them.
Right.
We would prefer to get it before it gets, you know, tainted and lingered, you know, stage first, then, you know, do the full-fledged marketing, but we do an awful lot. Unfortunately, because they wasted, you know, a good month or two or 5 on the market. And then we go in and literally within days, higher price points, maybe 2 weeks, but 2, 3, 4 days in escrow.
Wow. So it makes a huge impact, creates more money in the seller's pocket. It's definitely gives you bang for the buck when you do staging. So I agree with that. And it is also one of those things that you got to keep up with your competition out there in the market. So when you're showing, you know, when you're out looking at homes, buyers looking at 5 homes all in the same price point, and one of them is staged, which one are they going to pick? It's obvious, you know, which one they're going to pick. So that's always, you know, it's always I know that as a realtor, when we walk into a home that's staged really beautifully,
Your job gets
and
easier.
presents well. It's that the home sells itself.
Yes.
And
I would say like the home chooses you.
the home definitely sells itself. The buyers are, you know, a lot more excited about it than a home that they're like, oh, this could work, but we'd have to do this, or we'd have to do this, you know.
And then ka-ching, 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 I'd have to spend this and do that. And
Yeah. So
versus everything's ready to, like you said, fall in love with.
Yeah, fall in love with. So definitely, and it does have the emotional connection. People don't realize how emotional real estate really is. Because,
Well, and the other thing you said too is the competition among agents. I mean, how many agents are there? Like, I don't know, 12, 15,000 agents now?
yes, there is about
So
15,000.
those that stage with us certainly are giving themselves an upper hand because they're offering their clients more value, more knowledge. They're not just saying, try this, it's unproven. They're really showing, you know, our stats. Our website has our, you know, little tab called See Our Work. You can slide left and right. You can see the vacant image versus the staged image. We don't just tell you what we do, we show you what we do.
Yes.
So that's really helpful. But agents that don't do anything for the whatever set commission range they're offering, if they're not offering more, they're not going to get those listings and they're not going to help their clients be successful with just doing bare minimum anymore.
Yeah. No, definitely the staging has to, it does a better impact, a better impact overall. Yes. So how will people be able to contact you if they're interested in learning more?
Well, definitely, I think the easiest way is to check out our website, That's
Okay.
stagetosellnv.com.
Okay.
You can go on there, you can sign in and do a link. You can see our digital brochure, all our packages, all our pricing. If they're investors, we have a promo right now that it's one flat fee until it sells. So
Oh,
that
wow.
makes it real easy. There's no stress of like, I have to hurry up and get an escrow. Of course, it's going to sell quickly anyways. We know that, but it helps them not have to stress about their tight, bottom line when they're doing their flips.
Yes.
But again, we do a lot of luxury, but we
Okay.
help people in all price points. So
Okay.
that digital brochure will show all of our different levels and the prices and what's included. You've also got different success stories. Some of the ones we talked about may be too fresh to be on there.
Yes.
But lots of Toll Brothers and William Lyons and all different, higher end, lower end price points that you can see, actual real life, properties and the blurb, the little history of how we help the clients be successful. So definitely the website. You can email us at stagetosellnv.com.
Okay.
And you can also call us, 702-625-2554.
And her number is going to be there across the screen, so you can always reach out to her directly. You can also contact me. I can put you in touch with Leah if you're looking to sell your home. You want to get some more information on how to sell, on staging. We can connect together, get everything lined up for you, and happy to help. So I'm Trish Williams team, and thank you again for logging in or checking out Realty Check with Trish Williams, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Trish.
Thank you.